Welcome everyone to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Tara, and we talk about TV shows here. And the year is 2021. The name of the show is Babylon 5. This is season 3, episode 19, and it is the distinct reputation precedes this one, and that is Grey 17 is missing, which returned nothing but warnings about on the run up to, pretty much. There was from
JMS himself, I believe.
There was the odd person who said it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be, or there was some people who said, oh, the subplots are alright, or like whatever. But yeah, so this one's got a bit of a reputation, a bit notorious for being a bit of a stinker and an otherwise like pretty tremendous back half of a season, which we can't speak for the rest of the season, but yes, the back chunk of episodes have all been a pretty high standard. So very curious getting into this one. And I guess what I will say is that for a little while I was thinking, what's so bad about this? I'm actually kind of into this mystery. I like the idea of like a secret floor that's in between two floors, and Garibaldi's counting as the turbo lifts going up and down, and he's like, wait, that took twice as long. There's like there's a secret floor in the middle, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, and there's a mystery, and then he gets to the puppet that talks and shoots him with the tranquilizer dart, and then it just goes, and that's...
I think the reason people don't like this one is because they tease that Cole might be dead, and then he comes back.
See, that's the plot that I don't think is so bad. There's some good stuff in that plot.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. I don't think this is the worst episode.
Yeah, honestly, I think the Garibaldi plot, well, I think it does start off fine. It does go to really bad places. I think because that is relatively not actually, it's not as much of the episode runtime wise as I was expecting. I was expecting the A plot that's the meant to make this episode bad to be like the majority of the screen time. I would say TKO is worse. I think TKO focused way more on that martial arts, the fighting competition, way more than this stuff focused on. I mean, don't get me wrong, the scenes with Garibaldi and Robert Englund, hey, Freddy Krueger's on this episode, but the scenes with him talking about ascension and like only escaping if you're a being of trueness or something, like, yeah, I don't know, like... he just rambled on, and then there's like a goofy monster in an outfit that they got from like another TV show that we're done with this alien monster outfit. Do you want it?
It was a little bit of that Rutger Hauer movie.
Split Second, a little bit of Split Second. Yeah, I
was getting that from it. Although I actually like the design of that monster, but this one seemed a little bit like leftover costume from that.
Yeah,
it made a little bit different.
It really felt like a monster that was on a different TV show or something that they just like. Because, hey, they've used the 2001 spacesuit, so we know that they're not against reusing some costumes and props if the occasion calls for it.
Right.
And it's only in like one scene, pretty much, so, I mean, doesn't feel like they just spent a lot of money on it. Like, why would they?
No, it's probably something reused. Something that was already in a bin somewhere.
Yeah,
and the I was getting the vibes of the toy maker scene in Blade Runner when the laughing clown head showed up.
Yeah, I mean that was the moment, that because I was into like the mysterious like floor that's in between. Like I was into that part, and but then it got to that puppet, and I was just like, oh no, like this is where it's because I knew like I was expecting something bad to happen. So like I was like, I'm into this this secret hidden floor thing, but in my head the whole time I was going, yeah, but it's probably what he's going to find on this floor that's going to like plummet this, because this is clearly the bad plot. Like there's no way this is not the bad plot.
I like Robert Englund too. I mean, he's quirky in this, but he's, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I see why people are like, this one's a bit embarrassing, but it's not the worst, I don't think.
I think it's
I was expecting a total train wreck of an episode.
I think it's a combination of this plot being pretty bad, laughable in some places, and also where the episode falls. I think because it falls right after some of the biggest episodes the show's ever had, and then presumably we're going to have some other big ones to wrap up the season. It just it. Do you know what it is? Actually, I know you hate me bringing up the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but if you watch season 2 of Buffy, there's there's Go Fish, right before the big 2-part finale, and right after some of the biggest episodes the show has ever done. There's this really crappy episode where the swim team is turning into like Creature from the Black Lagoon monsters, starring a young Wentworth Miller who's terrible in that episode. It's got like 1 or 2 good jokes, but otherwise it is a really bad episode. And this has kind of got a little bit of that, in the sense that it's like right in between really important episodes, but it's a bit of a stinker. That said, though, the other plots that we're about to get to like do have some more merit. Are you fact checking Go Fish here? You like, I don't believe this episode exists.
You said Wentworth Miller. I'm like, who is that?
Oh, Prison Break, dude.
Prison Break.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil.
And shockingly, yes, he played Chris Redfield in the 4th Resident Evil movie. Very miscast.
Yeah, not an actor I'm really all that familiar with. I haven't really watched his stuff.
He's not very good. He's Captain Cold in the Flash and the Legends of Tomorrow shows as well.
Okay.
Which is a more recent thing that people probably know him from, but yeah. So anyway, that was a valid comparison, quite frankly, and I'm happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just drawing it out now because one of your pets is making noise, and I'm just trying to wait him out because I'm assuming it's Gus.
Yes, it's always Gus.
It's always the cat. It's up to no good. So we I mean, as far as Garibaldi, like he has like a classic revolver early on because he says it makes him remind him of home. It's his grandmother's gun.
Nothing says comfort like a gun, like cold steel.
But it's set up
red-blooded American.
It's set up though so he has some bullets in his pocket and he fires them through a pipe using steam. At least I think that's what he did to kill the alien.
He Shatners his way out of it.
When did Shatner do this? Or something
Arena
like this?
Against the Gorn.
Ah, I see.
I know I'm not allowed to bring up Star Trek episodes anymore. I can't help it. It's all I know. I can't stop.
Well, it's basically your second language is Star Trek. So, like, I'm okay with it. I mean, do people get mad at me bringing up Buffy episodes? I don't think they do.
No, except for me.
Yeah, you get mad, but that's okay. So that's basically the plot. Like, there's not really much to it. Like I was kind of listening for anything that Robert Englund was saying that could be applied to the themes of the show or the themes of the war or something, and it just all came across as a bunch of nonsense. So that's all I've got for you. So you're going to have to re-engage in the conversation at some point, Tara, and stop feeding your cat water.
Keeping him from making noise. I was like excited to see Robert Englund in it, but like I was kind of hoping he would turn out to be the monster.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting because at first I thought, oh, maybe they're like cannibals and that's why they kidnapped. Because the episode starts with like the maintenance guy getting pulled down to the into this floor, Yeah,
into this mysterious, floor that doesn't exist. I guess it's sort of based on like loosely based on the fact that there's no 13th floors in buildings, at least in America or something, because it's unlucky.
Yeah, there's definitely.
I've never confirmed that, but I assume it's true.
I mean, I imagine it just depends when they were built or something. But I mean, I can confirm that I've been in multiple buildings in the UK that have had 13 floors. So
yeah, I don't know. I never really think to check.
Maybe it's just a thing in certain places. Maybe it just depends on who built it. Like some people are just superstitious enough to. Maybe there's just enough buildings that have done this that it's become this myth that all buildings that are tall don't have a 13. I'm sure many of them do. It's just that there's enough that don't.
Yeah, there's supposed to be like because technically that would make the 14th floor the 13th floor, but there's technically like there's like some kind of like plenum between the two of them.
There's like a fake floor. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
it does count.
There is a 13th floor,
yeah.
but it's not really one that people can use.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's maybe the interesting thing to talk about with this is like, why is there a weird, hidden, mysterious floor that's like, because it's meant to be 30 floors.
That just got skipped when it was built.
That's what it seems like. It seems like they just skipped over it by accident and like, oh, that's the 29 floors done.
I don't know. It seems like it would have to be on purpose, right?
Yeah, which makes you think
whoever was building it like did it on purpose in order to have this secret place.
But why? Is there a backstory? Like, is he one of the crazy people who moved in here? Like,
was it Robert Englund? Yeah.
Or is
this
it
is where I can have my cult?
Or is it some sort of weird like accident that just? I don't know. Like, there's almost an interesting question to ask: is why did this end up this way? Because maybe it is just like a genuine mistake in the sense that when they were not so much when they were putting in the floors because the floor is there, but when they were putting in like the lift system, maybe they just missed it. Maybe do you know what it is? Maybe they realized their mistake and went, you know what, this would take a lot of work to go and fix, so let's just pretend there's only 29 floors and just be done with it.
Yeah, let's make the elevator go 6 seconds.
Do you know what? The amount of like, just like, the construction work or like any type of maintenance where they'll go, well, that'll still work. Like, it's not technically how it's meant to be done, but we'll just, rig it like this and that'll be fine. The amount of times...
I mean, they had to build it fast. They already lost 4 stations.
Exactly. But the amount of times in real life that someone will come to fix something and then they'll go, wait, what did the people who put this plumbing in or put this wiring in, like, why did they make this choice? And it's like, they don't understand.
Oh, I see it all the time, yeah.
So... it's actually really believable to me that someone messed up, realized they messed up, but when I'm not going to say or mention this because then I'll have to fix it.
Because that's billions of dollars worth of work, and
we're not doing it again.
We're in too deep. Yeah.
So let's just pretend there's no floor there. All right, that's it. And they never mention how Garibaldi gets out, really, because I was thinking, well, technically there's not maybe any access to this place.
Right. Yeah. Once the elevator door closes behind him, he's like, "Oh crap, I'm stuck here."
Yeah, I thought.
Isn't that the whole thing with the people too? Is that the only way out is giving themselves to this creature, because death is the only way out?
I mean, I assume there's like a stairway or something like behind where the monster is.
Yeah,
but,
you're right.
But
I mean, if there's a stairway to, like, if they have stairs on the station, in case the elevator fails, then
there will be.
It has to go through this floor, right?
It has to. Even if he has to break out a little bit of an inner wall to get to them, like, they'll be there. There's stairs that go past it. There absolutely is.
What if there's like a pinhole leak in one of the pipes that goes through this floor? Like, what happens? It just doesn't exist.
What I thought, though, is that part of this episode, because he was trapped here, is that it was going to be like, oh, eventually people are going to have to notice he's missing and come looking for him. Instead, he just gets out, right? Apparently it was easier once the monster was dead. But when he goes, at the end of the episode, they actually play it differently. I'm actually going to bring another Buffy episode into this. It plays it like the Zeppo. So if people don't know this, the Zeppo is an episode of Buffy where some apocalyptic end of the world thing is happening, like it's a season finale. But we don't follow the characters fighting that. That all just happens in the background, and we just follow Xander, who just goes on a goofy journey. And it's like none of them believe that he had this adventurous night, right? That's the whole point. So the end of this episode kind of plays it a little bit like that, where obviously Sheridan and everyone's went through like the other plots in the episode, and Gal was like, "Oh, you wouldn't believe the day I've had. There's a mysterious hidden floor, and there's a monster, and there's a cult in there." And he just sits there and like starts rabbiting all this, and it sounds like he's crazy. It sounds like a bunch of nonsense, but that's why they play it. They play it as a joke.
I like that it was very much no, I'm going to actually sit down and tell you about my day rather than, well, you wouldn't believe the day I had. And then,
It's a little more unique, yeah. That's the more
slide whistle out of the scene.
That's the more common thing to do. So you're right. At least the different thing.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it would make more sense to tell your commander what what your day was.
I wonder if they'll use this mysterious hidden floor for something like to hide people in the future, because it would be pretty useful. Could be handy.
Now that Garibaldi has made an exit.
Yes. And in the elevator,
like there's a lot of stored metal down there. And weird toys.
And the elevator is like, it covers for it quite well, unless they're counting like, Garibaldi had a reason to suspect that there might be another floor. Doesn't,
I hope if we ever see them go into like the 19th floor, or like or above, like you can see like a red line crossed out and then just handwritten 20th floor instead on it in following episodes.
I feel like someone would have noticed that at some point. Like,
well, just like they have to reincorporate this floor now, so.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Like, so, I thought you meant like when they first built it.
I guess they can make new signs, but it would just be cheaper to just put a piece of paper over it with the new number.
Well, no, that's assuming they don't want to keep it a secret.
Yeah,
because I'm proposing to keep this a secret so they can hide people here.
Like the escaped Psy-Corps people who are brought up in this.
Who are brought up in this, yes, because they're recruiting telepaths to fight the shadows, and it's not going super well. In fact, we get like a comedy scene at the start of the episode where this guy who's not a telepath is trying to convince Zach that he is a telepath, and Zach's having none of it. Zach's come a long way.
This scene got me a little bit worried about the episode because I thought this scene was pretty dumb.
It's a silly little scene that's establishing an important plot detail, which is they're actively recruiting as many telepaths as they can get their hands on. Which leads to them saying, "Hey, remember that like underground like batch of telepaths that Franklin was sneaking around and we saved them? Why can't we contact them? Like maybe they'd want to help because they seem like they probably would want to."
I mean, they are in hiding, so maybe they don't want to be. I mean, they went through all this trouble to not be found.
I mean, maybe, but like worth asking.
Totally. To save the universe and all.
So they go looking for Franklin to see if he can contact them or has like information on them, and. I actually kind of liked a detail here with this, which is that Ivanova finds him, and he's like, "Look, that now both you and Garibaldi have come and like seen me like down here in my walkabout. Like, leave me alone. I'm trying to detox and like go through all this. So I'll give you what you want, but leave me alone at this point, please." Like, I kind of like that because because we had Garibaldi come to see him like an episode or two ago. Now one of us came to see him, so I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah, I like that he's like hiding behind a curtain and stuff, just going through his detox and explaining like, look, this is slow. It's deep in my system, and it's going to take a little while. Give me some freaking time here. Stop trying to interrupt things.
Yeah, and they kind of explain why he seemed more okay last episode because like the withdrawal of like stims takes a bit longer to kick in, which is fine, sure, whatever. So yeah, that was kind of like its own little plot on its own, which is kind of the C plot, and that's just kind of it, right? Like they've got the names, so that'll come up next episode or whatever. So cool. The other main plot though is that whilst clearing out Sinclair's stuff back on Mimbar, Delenn is informed that, well, one of the things that needs to happen now is there needs to be a new leader of the Rangers, and like it should be you. And she says the first thing I thought, which is, well, I can't leave the station. Like my place is in Babylon 5, and the guy's just like, well, the Rangers were only here because that's where he was. If you're on Babylon 5, then that's where the Rangers will be based.
Maybe they can be in 17.
Oh, they can hide that. Yeah, that's where we've got all these new quarters for all these Rangers to live. Is Grey 17.
They could just come out through the manholes throughout the 16th floor.
I'm sure they can put in a door.
Well, they have to be secret.
Okay, fine. But
they
like
are
a secret
ninjas.
Door.
Yeah.
They can have a secret door, but it's like it looks like a wall, but then it whoosh. Whooshes out the way.
Just all these puffs of smoke will appear every now and then. We're like, what was that?
And we see all these Rangers arrive in the station. There's going to be a ceremony to like pass the leadership to Delenn. But the big thing that happens is that Neron, if I'm remembering his name correctly, comes back. We saw him way back in
Spiky
season
bones.
1. Yeah. I think it was season 1. Maybe it was season 2, but I think it was season 1. And he's like, Delenn, like, you're taking control of the Rangers. Like, that should be the warrior caste. We should be taking control of this. This is a military group, essentially. So, I'm going to...
Yeah, you're already building these secret ships with Vorlons.
Yeah.
Not cool, Delenn. So,
it's kind of nice to see how that's affecting the internal relationship of the Minbari. That's kind of cool. And then he basically offers a threat where he's like, I'll make sure that this doesn't go through by any means necessary. And when she tells Lanier this, he's like, it sounds like he's going to kill you, and they make a big. It's like, this is a big deal. Like, Minbari's not killed Minbari in like 1,000 years.
Ape no kill ape.
I knew you were going to reference
ape law.
that. I knew you were going to reference that.
Koba.
I
Human
can
walk.
read you like a book. So it offers this interesting dilemma where Delenn's like, I don't want Sheridan to know about this, right? This is not something he should know about. But Lanier kind of circumvents his promise not to tell Sheridan, because she never said, don't tell Cole. So, well, why are you rolling your eyes already?
Just the mention of his name.
I just said his name. You can't be mad.
No, I was just thinking of the scene where Lanier has to like do mental gymnastics to make this work in his mind, and Cole calls him out on his BS for that.
Yeah, which I kind of liked, actually.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah,
For a Cole scene. Actually, I don't like Cole, but like sometimes his scenes are all right. Like I do like the fight in this scene or in this episode. I think most of his fights actually have been pretty good. Like they're just, good coordination, exciting.
I think where this plot more or less goes, which is, so Lanier's whole idea is that if Neron kills Delenn, that could actually spark a civil war, right? Because this is like a warrior Minbari going after a religious Minbari, and that could, get all these things going, right? And likewise, if Lanier himself like jumps out and tries to like confront Neron for what he might do or what he's about to do, or if even Delenn does it, that could still kind of spark a conflict internally on Minbar. So the workaround is that it should be someone who's not Minbari, because then it won't spark anything like that. So Cole's this kind of natural choice. So Cole's like, wait, Delenn's in trouble, I will help her. So he like seeks out Neron. After it's implied that Lanier does most of the investigative work to get him there, but he confronts Neron and invokes a fight to the death, and he's like, you fool, you beginner human, I've killed thousands of you in the war, I'll take you on. And they've both got the retractable,
they both start whacking pipes.
Yeah. Don't say it like that.
Smacking pipes.
That still sounds very erotic.
Was this not an erotic scene? It's just boys being boys.
So they're fighting. We cut back and like Cole's like bloody and he's clearly losing, but he's got the will to keep fighting. He's not giving up. And Neron kind of gives him a chance. Like there's a couple of times where he says, "Look, you're not really a Minbari, so I won't really hold you to the whole invoking the fight to the death. If you run away, I'll let it slide. Like it's fine. I won't chase after you." But Cole's like, no, I will die for her. I will die for Delenn. And he brings up Valen, he brings up, he'll die for the one, he'll live for the one, he'll die for the one, all these things. And so what I kind of like about this is ultimately that he lets Cole live and doesn't kill him, and doesn't kill Delenn. He shows up at the ceremony and makes a bit of a scene and, throws down his weapon, but basically makes it clear that he's not going to, come after her for this anymore. And the reason why he's made this choice is that the idea that a human being, in his eyes, sounds more like a Minbari to him because he's willing to die for Delenn because of what he says. The idea that he sees more of a Minbari in this human than himself because of what he's about to do. It's sort of this moment of realization for him. I'm not saying it's like the best plot beat that this show's ever had. Like, he does have to explain it to me at the end, but I kind of like the logic behind it, and I like the idea that this effectively earned his respect. Like Cole, was a warrior, and he earned this warrior's respect to the point where he even laughs at his joke at the end, and that freaks out Delenn and Lanier. Like, is Neron laughing? We have never heard Neron laugh. What does this sound? It is alien and weird and uncomfortable.
I think the worst thing about this episode, other than the Cole stuff, is that
and the crappy monster and puppet and all the stuff with Robert Englund just spouting nonsense that means nothing.
Yeah, what a waste. He totally could have been a monster.
Actually, I laugh. Just a quick insert here on Robert Englund. Almost the first thing, because Garibaldi wakes up, he turns around, and Robert Englund's standing there with a bunch of these people that are all like crazy because they're living here. And the first thing Robert Englund does is he looks at his hand and he goes, "The hand," and he sort of holds it like Freddy Krueger. He sort of holds his fingers like it's the Freddy Krueger.
He never
glove.
called him bitch though, which was a missed opportunity.
Welcome to Grey 17, bitch.
Yeah, I think the worst thing about this episode is that Delenn and Sheridan have some nice moments together, and they still have not acknowledged anything about
come
where
on.
they stand,
she
what their relationship is.
She opens up about her father and sister, and the scene ends with
he puts his arm around her.
Yeah, and she tucks her head into his shoulder. It's all very sweet.
They're dating, right? Like,
I mean, Sheridan flat out knows they're going to have a kid together.
Yeah.
Right?
But this is not something like a captain would do to like an ambassador, or like a coworker would do with another coworker. This is a relationship. They have to just talk about it already.
This moment is an acknowledgement. It's not a verbal acknowledgement, but I think they both know this is something now. They're aware of the good feelings for each other. This is not like I don't know if we need a scene where they actually say things out loud for a while.
Why? Just to torture me?
Look, for like a whole season you've been saying they should have babies already, and then we get a flash forward to the future and found out they had a baby. And you're still not happy.
I mean, that made me happy, yes, but now, like, as I predicted, they're not even talking about it. It's been like 3 episodes since then.
Look,
it's been 2, but like, come on.
We have 3 episodes left of this season. You know they're going to go out with a big finale. The perfect opportunity for an advancement in the romance.
I don't know, man. I can't get my hopes up again. There's going to be some caveat. I guess there's always going to be a caveat now that it's not technically Sheridan's first kiss.
Mm-hmm. I love the idea that she's just going to walk into like the war council room in like a couple episodes time and just casually sit in his lap as if it's like a normal thing, and just be like,
we're still not talking about this, right? We're not gonna acknowledge anything.
It can be talked about between episodes, okay? It doesn't have to.
No, we can't. This is a plot of the show.
Oh, not the Shadow War, not the thing that we've been spending like 2 seasons.
This will go beyond the Shadow War, unless that goes through the 5th season. But I've heard things, so
mm-hmm.
Everyone says 2 through 4 in the comments.
Yes. Okay. All right. That's the worst thing about this episode for you, is the pain of them not just smooching already.
Yes. That'll be the pain of every episode until it happens.
They're giving you more sweet moments, though. They're giving you more it's clearly getting there. It's clearly building.
It would be lovely if he did that because they were, a couple. But instead, what is it? What is this relationship?
Do we do we make a little kiss bet but by the end of this season, do they kiss? Do we make a little kiss bet?
Sure.
All right. So, I mean, what do you think they're going to kiss by the end of this season? Like in present day, not in a flash forward. Like in present day, do Delenn and Sheridan?
How many episodes do we have left?
We have 3 episodes left.
My heart says yes, but my brain says no.
So you don't think the odds are good?
I'm saying it's 50-50. But given the way the show's been going, maybe it's more 60-40 that they don't.
They don't? Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, yeah. I'm going to say they don't.
Okay, I'll say they do. I'll say there'll be some kissing by the end of the season.
Oh, and by the way, we talked about it after the whole, like, Delenn was in the flash forward. Delenn was like getting out of Sheridan's bed, and then a woman appears. We talked about it after we stopped recording.
We did also women.
Yeah, we hear a female's voice say Delenn.
Oh, you're right. Okay, we do. Okay, fair enough.
And then she like drops her snow globe after.
Yes.
So my speculation now is that that's his wife. That's his dead wife returned. I don't know how she knows Delenn, but whatever. We'll figure it out.
Are you sure you didn't say that when we talked about the episode?
No, we talked about it after we recorded it. I was like, oh my God, that's such like a good thing. Like we should have said that.
Maybe that's why. Like I'm like we definitely had this conversation. Maybe it's because it was off.
But we had already recorded.
Yeah.
And I meant to bring it up like the next time, but I forgot. So
all right, okay.
That's my speculation. That is his dead wife who is returned because she was never dead. I don't know why she knows Delenn, but whatever. We'll get to it.
But she's a shadow puppet now. Oh, that's such a good inverse meaning of that phrase. Because instead of making puppets with shadows, you're a puppet for the shadows. A shadow puppet.
Ooh.
See? Like Morden, he's a shadow puppet.
He's a tool. Shadow tool. And probably just a regular tool.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. He comes across as a bit of a dweeb and an asshole who's like, look at me, I'm so badass because I have the most powerful army in the world or the universe behind me.
My favorite movie is Joker.
But before that was the Boondock Saints
Boondock Saints, yeah.
Until Joker came out, and then he's like, oh no,
or American Psycho or Fight Club.
Whoa! I actually quite like American Psycho. I'm not.
Yeah, but the people who like attach themselves to that character are doing it for the wrong reasons.
All right, let's keep this to movies that I'm happy making fun of.
Okay.
Because Joker's terrible. All right, everyone heard it here first. All right, I think that's Grey 17 is missing. It's not like a complete disaster. Like the Garibaldi plot goes to a really bad place. It does. But the other plots have some interesting things in them for the overall story. Obviously, it's nowhere near the standard of the episodes we've just had, or probably are about to get, and that's the shame of it. But hey, I would still definitely say I dislike TKO more than this overall.
Yeah, I don't think this is the worst one.
Yeah. So hey, let us know what you think of the episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. And just a key point for spoilers in the comments. Telling us something doesn't happen is still a spoiler.
Oh.
Right? I'm just going to say that. Saying something, don't consider this, like, that's still kind of a spoiler, right? But let the theorizing happen, okay?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Theorizing's part of the fun.
I don't know if I read that comment.
But yes, so yeah, let us know in the comments what you think of the episode. Like, subscribe, ding the bell for notifications, and Tara is going to tell you all about Patreon, and there's going to be a new tier called Grey 17 where you get nothing extra. It's just going to be there.
Is it $17 a month?
Sure, why not? You
don't
nothing.
even get the episode 6 days early?
No, you still get the things that come from the tiers below it, but you just don't get anything.
I like the idea that it's just giving you money for no benefit.
It's just for nothing.
Nothing.
There's just a Grey 17 tier. You get nothing, but give me $17.
That's right, Peter. If you enjoy our reviews, please check out our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/MomFuzzTV. Almost got a spit take out of you.
We had a whole conversation and you still went, that's right, Peter.
Where, if you donate as little as $1 per month, you'll get access to bonus episodes for other shows we do. And if you donate $5 per month, you'll get access to these Babylon 5 reviews 6 days early. So if you want to know what we think of the next episode and you're not on Patreon, you can find out tomorrow. Thank you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh.
There you go.
It's my best slide whistle.
Best is relative. very relative in this case. Not
It
that
was
I can
my
do
best.
it. I can't do a slide whistle, admittedly, but that's why you're going to hear me try. So, thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching Babylon 5. And just remember, don't give away the home world.